Welcome to my Boss GT1000 video. So now you've probably seen a bunch of really awesome videos of the Boss GT1000 from other YouTubers, and you're like, yeah, this is all great, but you know, I'm waiting for Ola's demo. I know what you're asking. Can it do real metal? And that's why I'm here. The Lord of the overgained amplifiers, Jesus of the minions of Melzones, and the conquerors of the Whammon. The GT1000 is the new flagship from Boss, and in this range there are already a bunch of really successful products out there, so how will this one fare? That is why I'm here at your disposal. Will it chug? If you look at it, it's kind of similar size or even smaller compared to the others. And that's a huge plus. It has 5 different patches or presets per bank, and there's a wide array of different control buttons. You have the tuner here, and if you have a looper, etc., you can control that here. But I guess you can program all of these buttons to behave in any way you want, like if you want to turn on and off different parts of the single chain in the presets and so on. It has a built-in expression pedal that feels very, very sturdy, I must say. And connection-wise, it has everything. It has everything that I would wish for in a modeler like this, which is an input. It's pretty important if you want sound. You have 2 individual sends, main output, headphones, and so on. But it also has to control inputs, which means you can hook these up to external equipment and change the channel of your amplifier, or if you just want to f around with more expression pedals and so on. It has 3 stereo inputs, so there's a lot you can do with this. And for me, this is something that I love seeing, because in a 4-cable method setup with a real amplifier, this just calls for a lot more control of all the switching and so on. MIDI in and output, and USB if you want to edit presets like a Boss on the computer. And that's what I'm doing right here. I have the Boss Tone Studio for GT1000 loaded here, and you know, I've done my fair share of editing presets in the past with products like this. You can do all the editing on the board and be a total noob, but let's just be real here. When you have one of these, you're better off using an app to control everything. It's just a lot quicker to edit presets and stuff like that. Another cool thing about this is that it has Bluetooth, so you can control it using your phone as well. I have an app here that I use to make this preset. Single chain for this video is my guitar here, an Solar A1.6 Artist, straight into the GT1000, and I'm using the main outputs straight into my audio interface. And look how clean I made a setup with the wires going underneath here, and you know, clean. It's almost like a pro. Alright, so I've already made this really awesome gent preset that sounds like this. And here in the editor, we have this same preset loaded up on the screen, so I can make all the edits here instead. So, for instance, here's the guitar, here we have the single chain, and then it's divided. Oh, almost burped. That was close. So we have the single divided to 1 amplifier, 1 distortion pedal, and then back into the master section here. And as you can see, you can have more than 1 amp, just like the others. So if you like to have like a dual amp kind of setup thing, you can make that happen here. All of these blocks here, you can just easily move around, you know, to wherever you want. And that's nice to see. That's really simple in that way. So let's check out the amplifier I'm using real quick. So this is called the X Modded. There's a couple different ones to choose from. Maximum. So all these amplifiers come with the full, you know, cabinet setup as well. So Boss has captured, you know, more of a 3D type of feeling of this amplifiers rather than just, you know, having a preamp section, a power amp section, and a cabinet section. So when you're choosing an amplifier here, it changes the whole package, I would say. But you can still use your own impulse response, and I'm going to do that in a minute. But right now I'm just going to try out the different. Let's turn off the distortion pedal for a little bit. Okay. Nice. A little too old guy sounding to me. A little closer. X-modded. That was the one that I used. Recti stack. I hate that riff, sorry. Okay. Okay, let's try this sag. Okay, I think this removed a little bit of the low end, or maybe like compressing the low end a little bit. So before I start tweaking any further, I have put in this looper here. So what's really cool about this is that I can record a loop like this. And then, oh, stop. So now I can play up that same looped section that I made and tweak the amplifier without, you know, having to play the guitar. So it just frees up a lot of time, you know, going back and forth between the guitar and setting and tweaking, you know. So that's really simple like that. And that's also awesome because when you have the app on your phone connected to this, basically if you're live, you can loop your live sound. You can go out front of house, you know, standing at the floor and still tweak the amplifier while it's playing the loop. You know, to be able to go down there with the audience and, you know, just sound check from there and tweak your settings. It's just awesome. You know, be like a regular person down in the audience. It's amazing. So let's play that short little thingy there of what? Now I can basically okay. Let's put on that little distortion there. It's a T-screen. I wonder what that could be. Okay, I want to play a little, so shut the hell up. Okay. You can see here, I mean, there's so many different parts here and added things you can do, like modulation effects, foot switch. Okay, foot volume. That's a nice little thing there. And if you want to use it for something else, let's put a pedal mix. Okay. So I can do my little wah-wah thing, but I think... Okay, let me move this in front here. Okay, so I've added this little effect here, probably like a whammy. So let's try it. Oh shit. That's cool. That was fun. So let's check out the different speaker options here. So you click the speaker. So what you can do here is that you set what type of environment or output you're using on this thing. So I mean, you can use it for line and phones recording, or you can choose, you know, if you want to hook it up straight into the effects loop return of an amplifier or an input or whatever, so you can, you know, manage the correct levels into an effects loop and stuff like that. So if we set it for recording, there's also a global EQ if you want to use that. But if you set it for recording, you get a lot more options with what type of cabinet you can use, for instance, and different microphones. Okay, let's... And then you can set the microphone position. Okay, let's put it to 3 millimeters, because that's a figure I'm used to. Okay, but the cool thing here is that you can also, of course, upload your own impulses. So I have my impulse on my Hesu cabinet, not this Hesu cabinet, but my other one. And yeah, sounds like it should, I guess. Hang on, stop, there it is. I must say, the response when playing is really good, I must say, for a unit like this. It feels really snappy. Fixed impulse. Okay, let's try the original. Getting somewhere. It's a little bit too much maybe. Okay, short. Something that I absolutely love about this thing as a live performer is that the preset switching is instant. With a lot of the other modelers out there, the difference between two presets when you switch between is usually too big, so there's a lag or hiccup when you switch between them. And for me, it's super annoying. I know as an audience you don't really see this, but for me it's super annoying when you want to go between like a clean and a distorted sound. But here, you're not getting that, which is, for me, a huge, huge plus. I mean, if you're a home playing guy, this might not be a big thing, but for us live players or performers, this is so important. And it doesn't really matter how many processing effects you have in the preset, it still switches flawlessly between the presets without any type of lag. And also with other modelers is that you get to a point where the processing power of the unit goes to maximum. With the GT1000, you don't have to worry about that. You can engage all the different effects and blocks without any problems or having a processor being maxed out. So that's another thing you don't need to think of. So let's check it out. That's really good. I think it sounds good. It does not hurt that you can load in your own impulse responses, but you know, that's pretty much standard for a unit like this today. Yeah, I'm looking forward to using this for a fair bit of different applications, and I'm also making a video where I'm using this together with a real amplifier and the 4-cable method style, and that is going to be really interesting, seeing how the GT1000 has, you know, the extra sends and returns and relays at the back for switching amp channels, etc. So I'm really looking forward to that video, and you should too. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video, and see you next time. Subscribe! Shit!